Hey everybody, it's Tuesday. This is weird. That's vacation. Gonna walk a trail. Gonna put the camera stuff on, walk, see what we can see. I've been here once before, but it was last year, so it might be different. It might be the same. We'll find out. Let's go.
Every time out, I'm just learning a little bit more and a little bit more. It turns out the GoPro has an intelligent wind filter. It just sounds really muffled. I don't care for it, even though I'm using the now external microphone with a windscreen. Turned off that, so next time the audio should look a little better. Also, this one does a weird thing. Most cameras that I've ever used that have a stabilization feature crop in the image in order to stabilize. This is just smoothing everything. Doesn't look good. Don't like it. Fix it for next time.
I think that'll do it. All right. Once again, driving for the talking bit because, well, if you thought, like I did, on a Tuesday, is this place really going to be crowded? On a Tuesday? We'd both be wrong. Parking lot is pretty much full. Just about entirely between where you are actually allowed to park. Yeah. Fair number of people showed up. I was technically the first one here by about 10 seconds because the car behind me was going slower over the dirt road. All right. That was fun. And that was a good time out. I usually don't do this back to back, so soon. But this might work out over the course of my vacation to be like shoot one day, take a full day off to just rest and do whatever, edit, then go out again. And just continue that pattern over and over and over. And I think I can do that. Because that's what I've done here. Went out on Saturday, resting on Sunday, which I also use for a bunch of other things, cleaning and whatnot. Editing on Monday, back out on Tuesday. If I do a rotation like that, I think I can get 3, maybe 4 over the course of the full vacation. We'll see. I know I won't be out on Friday because it'll be day off tomorrow, editing on Thursday, another day off on Friday, simply because Saturday I'm going out and I don't want to do 2 back to back. I know for sure Saturday because we have a drop off at the airport at 5 a.m. Which means that we'll be getting to the wildlife whenever we get to it. We shall see. That place that I went to a couple times ago, where I went and videoed the American kestrel. That state park is not too far from the airport, as I know because of the planes going overhead. So that might be the location. But anyway, talk about today. So I get out there. I start walking. And I discovered one thing. I was getting an adapter for the GoPro so I could plug in because it's moved that little housing with the microphone on it has moved the charging port. It takes over the port and it puts it on the back of the camera instead, which is probably useful in a bunch of ways. But for me, where I'm wearing it here, it's basically causing a real hard angle for the cable to go into it, and it's not ideal. So, not really what I want. So I got a little like 90-degree, adapter to go in different directions. I was trying them, and I plugged it in yesterday, and it was like, all right, well, as I was getting everything ready, about to put it in the bag, I plugged that one in and it popped up and was like 80% battery. And I went, I thought I charged that. So that's weird that it's not showing as completely full. But anyway, just plug it in and charge it. And it did. And I guess it charged and then it stopped charging. And then I guess because that adapter is in there, it just recognizes that there is a device plugged into it and goes and runs the battery. Because it was completely dead when I got here and I went to turn on the GoPro. I have a spare battery and I can plug that one in, so I have the options. I was able to keep going, but it was good to know that I can't leave that little adapter plugged into it all the time. The adapter lives on the cable that's attached to the battery bank that's attached to the I want to say the bag, but it's not. It's the whole setup. The belt and suspenders, pouches, which works really well. So anyway, that was the equipment side of things. Other than that, it was great out. Looking at all the wildlife there was not so much. I got there and I saw Steller's jay and went, yes, of course. The Steller's jay, beautiful bird. Colors on it, gorgeous. And then I walked for a bit, and, there's other people and let them go, and I kind of stand and, work back and forth and looking around. I'm not seeing very much. I'm getting more like, I remember from the last time I came out, this happened. At this location, I really didn't see very much overall, but in my head it was still a good spot, and I remembered why I thought that was simply because at one point
I almost turned a corner and there was just birds everywhere. It was like they came in. If you go back and look at when I went out and did that last time, there was a point where it was just simply nothing, 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 and then a swarm, a flock of birds came and all landed at one time, and I got a bunch of pictures then, and then they went, and we went, and he's crossing the street. Okay, there's a guy there. I was trying to figure out what he was doing. Anyway, so just like one instant, I was like, well, if that's, does lightning strike twice? Is that the kind of situation we're in? So kept going. But then I saw some here or there, little things, and wound up going into a neighborhood where I could drive slower. Interesting. Cute little houses. Oh, they're like, what do you call them? They're really skinny. But they're not, it's almost like those are the kind of things that you would have in one complex, like a condominium. But they're standalone. And then these are just really big houses. I guess it's just so they can fit more in. You don't get much of a yard. Anyway, so I'm going along and looking and looking for birds, and I hear one at one point. I hear a hummingbird. I go, oh, hummingbird. But I can't find it. And I'm looking and I don't see it anywhere. And then I come to a spot and I go, well, this might just be a good spot in general. I'm looking around and it's just this big open kind of, it really kind of opened up and I can see trees here. And basically this trail goes right along a creek the entire time. And there I see some birds going and landing. I don't know what they are. They're kind of, is a blue-gray nuthatch a thing? Because they were kind of blue, they were kind of gray, and they were a nuthatch. Something along those lines. I don't 100% remember. I don't remember the name of the bird is what I'm saying, but it will be something like that. We'll figure it out. I'm not too worried about it. It'll be on the screen or the editor. However I decide to do it for this time.
In my experience, the most common bird for the area is the most likely. So we go and look. We know it's a nuthatch of some kind. We've seen some before, but it doesn't seem to be the red-breasted or the white-breasted nuthatch. And it's very specific because of the eye and the white around it that it does not have. Looking at the images here, it's not like that. But it's very much like the pygmy nuthatch, which is technically possible for Colorado. And I confirmed it by looking at another book. Pretty sure this is a pygmy nuthatch, which would be a new one for the collection.
But we definitely saw something. I think we've seen it before, so I don't necessarily think that that's like a super new bird for the collection. But it definitely was cool. And saw some here or there. I think I saw a towhee at one point, because they've got kind of that orange to them. That was really neat. Let's go straight here. Then there's a moment. This is clearly the highlight of the day. I'm going along, and a little peek behind the curtain. I am, in several ways, trying to make these more interesting, trying to show more. And I that's why body cam, GoPro, the whole thing, and doing that, some audio, something, whatever it may be. And I'm thinking about it being like, well, if I wanted to, I could show myself in the thing. That's always interesting. With the full getup and the camera, and I just go and I basically set up a camera, take the other one off because I carry two, and set it up on the tripod and just, do a quick little video, get a clip of me like standing and looking and wander. It's something, and it's not the usual of, if I'm included in any of the footage, it's because I'm hand holding, this camera or something like that. So I do that, and I set up, and I'll tell you, I took a while to set up because we're basically on a slant right down to the water, and all I can see, I look in the water, there's just big rocks everywhere, and all I can imagine is the tripod falling over as soon as I step away from it. It's happened once or twice throughout all of this where I've accidentally, the tripod has dropped because I didn't make sure it was secure. So I set up, and I get ready. I probably have like 4 or 5 clips. Nothing coming. And I can go. There's a giraffe over there, like a big statue. I don't know what for what. Anyway. So yeah, I set up and I keep going and I keep thinking, all right, I'm gonna take a clip and I'm gonna walk over there and I get ready and I go, what about, and I adjust the so I have a bunch of clips of that of me like getting ready to do this. I probably take 10-15 minutes to set this whole thing up and really just, all right, I think the camera will stay while I go stand over there, and I'll just do what I usually do when I'm kind of doing this. I'll pretend to see a bird and take pictures. Didn't have to pretend. I got, I set up the camera. It's now rolling. I get the whole thing. I got the tripod off the belt. I get everything set up. We're ready to go. It's there. We're kind of by the creek. We got a lot of green. It's just green everywhere out there. And I go around, so I go stand there, and I go there, and I start faking, and I'm looking, and all of a sudden there actually is a bird kind of up the hill ahead of me in the tree. Probably one of these nuthatches. I'm like, well, I'll take some pictures while I'm here. Don't need to. So there I go, and I start taking some pictures. I'm like, well, this is great. All right. And I take some pictures, and I go, that's probably enough. I want to get back because that camera. And it's pretty much around the time that I take I stop looking and I stop taking a picture, and there's just a flutter of wings, and these ducks come right in next to my head. And land. No idea if it saw it on camera or heard it, but it was right there, and it just surprised me entirely. And then I like get ready, and 2 seconds after that, I go, all right, well, let's, and I turn, and there's a person there as well who's asking me if I've seen anything good, and I'm like, birds just landed, like ducks immediately in front of me. You cannot script if it shows up on the camera that I was doing, you cannot script this. Just like, what a perfect moment of me trying to take a picture of a bird as it is, and then here comes some 2 feet in front of me or something like that. So I'm really hoping that came through, because that was a really funny moment. We'll see. That'll be cool. But yeah, good time. Took a lot of pictures of those things. We'll see what all comes out. Hopefully the footage was interesting. This trail got a lot more crowded than I was expecting for a Tuesday morning at sunrise. That's for sure. A couple of people as I started out, there were more people than the last time I came out. Which I want to say was almost in the fall, but I think everything was still green. I don't entirely remember, but this was just the second time. It was still, I'd been exploring places I'd been to before, but now a bit earlier in the year since the last time. It couldn't have been earlier than August or September, because I moved to here, which is really nice. Let me tell you how nice it is that I am taking a vacation right now, and I'm not moving. Because every vacation, I typically wind up saving up my time off and taking like 2 weeks off a year. That's about how much I get, is a full 2 weeks. And I take 1 week in the summer to move, and 1 week around Christmas, New Year's to do this and enjoy and play games and just hang out. And it's really nice that we're not moving. It's unfortunate that rent is going up, because rent always goes up. But it's really nice that we're not moving. All right. I think that will do it. It's a successful trip number 2 on the vacation, and a good time taking pictures of birds. I would like to get some video in. Maybe, I don't know. I'm debating. I'm thinking about that for Saturday. If I want to go back and see the kestrels or something else and do video of them, that would certainly be interesting. But it would be a lot to put in the car and deal with extra early on a Saturday, while we also are doing the whole going to the airport. We'll see. That'll do it. Yeah, that'll do it. Had to think through, make sure everything. I think I got it all. Bye, everybody. It's the 15 seconds at the end of the video while I wait before we come to a stop.